Hi everyone, welcome back to Food Feeds. In this video, we are going to talk about moisture absorbers. There are a few videos uploaded before on active packaging. So if you haven't watched it, please do watch it for better understanding. So as in every video, I usually tell you to have a pen and paper with you so that by the end of the video, you have a notes created for yourself, which will be handy for exams. So first, let's talk about why moisture absorber matter in food packaging. So we all know when there is too much of moisture present in the food, it leads to food spoilage. So whenever there is excess moisture, there is a faster growth of microbes like mold, bacteria, there is loss of texture, and there is also loss of flavor, aroma. Overall, it leads to a poor shelf life and the food safety is affected. So in order to have a solution for this, we use moisture absorbers, which are also called as desiccants. They usually soak up the extra water which is inside the food packaging system, and they protect your product from the texture loss, spoilage, or even the color changes. So basically, there are several companies which manufacture these absorbers in different forms, which are sachet, pads, blanket, or sheets. Usually, sachets are the small packets placed inside the food pack, which you might have noticed. Pads are usually used under fresh meat and seafood. Sheets or blankets, they are used for bulk packaging food products. So each of these format suits for a different type of food, like either it is fresh, frozen, dried, or baked food. So whether it's your pad in the chicken pack or sachet in the cookie jar, these moisture absorbers, they quietly do their job of keeping your food fresh, safe, and delicious. So let's now know about why the moisture control is important in food packaging. So you might have noticed that when you open a packet of fruits, vegetables, or even meat, you might have noticed that there is a water droplet inside. So that's a process of condensation in packaging, and it's one of the big problem. How? Because whenever there's a fresh produce like fruits, vegetables, they are still breathing. So it's the process of respiration. During this, they release water vapor. And if the packaging material is not breathable or it does not have the right permeability, then this moisture gets trapped inside the packet. So if that happens, then what it results into is the inside environment becomes humid, water will collect as droplets, and this moisture can speed up the spoilage and make the food go bad faster. So now if we take meat and poultry, fish, they don't respire, but they still can release drip. That's the watery liquid we often see, and it doesn't just make it look unappetizing, but it also lowers the product quality and can lead to spoilage. In case of the bakery item and this dry snack, it can also affect the moisture loss. Like if the moisture enters the packet from outside, it can ruin the texture and the shelf life. So what's the solution for all this? So again, it's the moisture absorbers which are inside the packet. So it soaks up the extra moisture and keeps the inside environment dry, which helps the food to stay fresh, clean, and appealing. So now let's talk about materials that will help absorb moisture in food packaging. The first one is silica gel. So these are the tiny white or blue beads that we often find in the small packets. So it absorbs the moisture even at a higher temperature and humidity. And some of these silica gels can change the color when they are full. So we can identify when it's completely saturated. Other one is molecular sieves. and these are made up of special minerals like sodium, potassium, or calcium silicates. They are super powerful because they absorb more moisture compared to silica gel, and they can even remove the bad odors or smell from the packet. So next is the clay, which is a natural mineral. It's also cheap and eco-friendly. It doesn't swell or break down when it absorbs the moisture, and usually it's used for like bakery items or the dry goods. So now let me ask you a question. Can you name another material that can both remove the moisture and odor from a pack? You can pause the video for a while and think about it. So here the right answer is activated carbon. So you might know it from air or water filters. So it absorbs both moisture and odor, which is perfect for like strong smelling food like fish or meat. So now we have to know about how to choose the right moisture absorber. So it depends on number of factors. So the first is the product size and weight. Bigger or heavier the items, it might release more moisture, right? So they will need a larger or stronger absorber. Next will be considering the shelf life of the product. If it needs to last months or years, so you need an absorber that works for long term. Then we consider the environmental conditions, like will this food face high heat or high temperature, high humidity? So a product which is packed in India and it has to be sent to Europe, it might experience different temperatures, and that will affect how well the absorber works. So we need to consider the temperature and humidity exposure for that product. Next is the packaging permeability. So uh, it means how much the packaging material will allow the water to pass through it. So this is called as water vapor transmission rate. And whenever there's a higher of water vapor transmission rate, then there is more moisture can enter through it. And the stronger the absorber needs to be. So if the packaging material has high water vapor transmission rate, we need a stronger absorber. Next is the product's initial water activity. So this tells us how much free water is in the food. So higher the water activity, more moisture is released inside the packet. So we need a stronger absorber to maintain the food safety of that product. So next, the last one is the sensitivity of the product to the moisture. So like, for example, some foods like chips, cookies and all, they lose the quality even with a small amount of moisture to it. So they need very effective absorption to protect the texture as well as the taste. So in short, choosing the right absorber means like it depends on your product, its packaging, and the journey it will take from the factory to the fridge, right? So now let's see what are the innovations in moisture absorbers in food packaging. So they have come a long way. Today we are seeing smart, sustainable, and specialized solution to keep the food fresh and appealing. So the one company is Dry Fresh Resolve. So this is mainly for meat packaging. So problem here was the cut red meat was becoming brown on the base because of the exposure. It was not allowed to expose to oxygen, so the color would change. So what this Dry Fresh Resolve solves is it uses a breathable meat pad, which allows oxygen to reach the meat from all sides. So it keeps the fresh red color intact. So, and also it's made from cornstarch and cellulosic material, which is fully compostable and contains no glue or adhesives. So it's nice to use it. Another company is Humidipak, which uses a saturated solution of substance to maintain the desired humidity within the pack. So for example, if some of the foods doesn't just need to have low moisture, but they need balanced humidity to maintain high texture. So for such, this Humidipak provides saturated solution of substance inside the sachet, so it will absorb or release moisture depending on the environment that is created, keeping the pack at a stable humidity level. So it's usually perfect for like dried fruits, nuts, and even cigars or instrument that needs precise moisture level. This is used. So these new materials and innovation are much smarter, like they adapt to a different conditions. They are safer, like there is no chemicals used or adhesives used. They are sustainable, and like many of them are compostable or plant-based. These designs are particularly for a type of food and packaging environment. So these recent developments are really coming handy for storing the product for longer duration, and for the during the transport it doesn't spoil much. That's all for today's video. Thanks for listening and watching to this patiently till the end. If you have any questions, do write to us on the given email ID. And please do follow, share, and like Food Feeds on Instagram, Telegram, and support us. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with the next video super soon. Thank you.